Well, it is the 3rd of May, about 6:45 in the morning, or is it 7:45? 7:45. 7:45 in the morning. It is. It was sunny when we landed here in Edinburgh. It's a little drizzle now, but it's still relatively clear, and it's cold. It's about 3 or 4 degrees. And we just flew in from JFK. The formats of the confessions and reflections and the Ask the $50 Billion Man are going to be changed slightly, whereby they're shortened up. So in other words, they're in shorter increments. So that means they'll be coming out more often. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the first one that'll be edited that way, but they certainly will be going forward that way. I was asked a question on my YouTube channel if I answer all the questions, or does somebody, and the implication was if somebody else answers the questions. And the answer is, on the YouTube, I don't answer very many questions. Once in a while I answer a question, but nobody else answers the questions. And on the Ask the $50 Billion Man, I'm the only one that answers the questions. And the only questions I don't answer are questions that, strangely enough, that you kids ask me about sexual preferences and your sexual activities, and asking me my advice. I don't answer those questions. In fact, I believe we delete those questions. The next seminar is on the 16th of this month. It will be, so we've got about 2 weeks before, a little less than 2 weeks before the seminar. And I will be preparing starting in a few days and getting caught up with a number of other things. One of the things that, and the reason I have my glasses on, because I want to read something. I've ranted and raved quite a bit about political correctness, and that in my opinion, that the political correctness is a manifestation of a lack of self-esteem, not just in America or in the UK or in English-speaking countries, but pretty much around the world, except for, I believe, Russia. I don't believe that they believe in political correctness there yet. But I've said, not till I'm blue in the face, but on several occasions, that Donald Trump is clearly a manifestation that the American public is fucking fed up with all the political correct bullshit. And as I speak here, he swept 5 states last week on Super Tuesday. And today is the big Indiana vote. And if he wins Indiana, he closes Senator Ted Cruz out. But not only last week did he win all 5 states, he swept every single county. So he got 100% of the vote. Now, even for those pundits that think that Mr. Trump is a psychopath, and to sweep 5 states, 100% of the counties, is a pretty strong goddamn statement. And you can probably guess or surmise that, each state is going to have a bunch of people that would vote like me, because I've endorsed Mr. Trump, notwithstanding I don't support everything he says. And I also believe that he is saying a lot of things just for effect to get elected, just as all the other politicians do. But to sweep 5 states 100% is pretty overwhelming. Now, I don't know what the outcome of Indiana will be, but I would be surprised if he loses Indiana. And if he wins Indiana, the race is over, although Governor Kasich and Senator Cruz say that it's not over, because then they'll have a fight at the convention. But I believe that he's going to have the votes. I could be wrong, but I believe he'll have the votes before that. But the point of this comment is political correctness. And the seminar coming up in a couple of weeks, a little less than a couple of weeks, has, as usual, I should say, as has become more usual, a real interesting mix. I don't believe there's any women in this seminar, but we do have, I believe we're going to have 5 or 6 students from around different parts of the world. I believe we're having one active duty military kid, and we have the rest of the spectrum people that come to the seminar. And I want to make something clear. I keep getting this question. So either I'm not articulating it correctly, or, as I accuse you tongue-in-cheek, you're thick as 2 short planks. The kids that come to the seminar fall into 3 categories. 1/3, or as my Irish mentees would say, one toid, come with no business idea, no business background, nothing. They're work for somebody, or they're students someplace. Okay. Another 1/3 come with a business, an existing business, that they haven't been able to get it to the next level, or maybe even going out of business. And then the last 1/3 of the individuals are, whilst they may fall into partially one of those 2 first categories, are really at a crossroads in life. That, they don't know what to fucking do. We have a number of kids that come around their 40th birthday, around their 30th birthday, and around their, not so many around their 50th birthday anymore, but because those are life-changing decades, I'm told. I probably should have gone to therapy at my 30, 40, 50, and 60, and 70th birthdays, but I didn't. But many of them don't have any idea what area they should go into. And I've been telling people for, over 30 years, healthcare and telecommunication is where it's at. That has not changed. As I told Rick Scott, who's sitting governor of Florida, the same thing in the late 80s. And he went on to found Columbia Healthcare, which was the largest healthcare company and owner of hospitals in the world. And he's currently governor of Florida. He also was one of the first to endorse Mr. Trump for president. Now, a number of other people have got on the bandwagon for Donald, and interestingly enough, he is now that he's learned about the delegate game and how just because you win the votes doesn't mean you get all the delegates. He is now taking delegates away from Cruz as of the last few days, and in which Cruz was winning at that game. Bernie Sanders is still in the fight, and he's trying to take away delegates from Mrs. Clinton. Now, funny enough, that's what Obama did to Mrs. Clinton the last time around. So it would be sweet irony if Bernie does the same thing to her, because her approval rating, a lot of people still think she's a crook. And I'm looking forward to see what Donald does in his fight against Hillary, if it is Hillary. But the irony, and as I said a few weeks ago, what I really like to see is Bernie, a former communist, current socialist, sitting senator in the United States, take on Donald Trump. Because that's at the basic, you can't get any farther apart than that on the continuum. And Bernie's, not constituents, but his following is mostly, a majority, I should say, are kids, the students. And so we'll see what happens. I believe that when Mr. Trump turns his attentions to Mrs. Clinton, he's going to beat her like a fucking rented mule. And to say that he's going to take the gloves off is an understatement of Quran and biblical proportions. And he's going to get down and dirty. And contrary to what Mrs. Clinton's pundits or followers say, that they can't wait, and the one that they really want to go up against is Donald Trump, is horseshit of the highest degree, because they know that he's going to bring up stuff that nobody else would, and he's going to, because he's out to win. And as I've said for 45 years and 22 years, almost 23, there's a huge difference between playing not to lose and playing to win. And most of you that you were raised by parents that taught you how to not to lose as opposed to playing to win. Now, speaking of 22 years, in a few weeks, on the 23rd of May, in about 19 days, will be my 23rd anniversary of giving seminars. The first seminar I gave was 23 May at the Sheraton Hotel, downtown Los Angeles. I had about 100 people in the room, more or less, at $1,000 a head. And and some of those people that were in that room are still mentees or devotees of QLA, and we are now on the second generation in some of the cases, like with the Verdiers and a few others. Strangely enough, and it's partially the reason I picked the dates for the seminar, is my 23rd anniversary of giving the seminars will fall during this coming seminar at the castle. Now, as you history pundits, history devotees know, I gave approximately 22 seminars in 26 or 27 weeks from that date across the country, and that's how it started. And then later on in that year, I gave my first castle seminar. And as you also know, I stopped giving the outside seminars about 2000 when I gave my last seminar at the Heathrow Airport for Stuart Goldsmith. And I haven't given one this century, except for the event I gave for Brian QLA Rose a number of months ago at the Ritz. And I continue to plan on only giving seminars at the castle. And as I've said many, many times, I stopped giving them outside, and I formalized and tightened up the mentor program so I can ensure accountability. And whereas when I put hundreds of people in the room, I couldn't keep people accountable. It's not easy keeping them accountable just when there's only 15 or 20 in the room at the castle. And as you also know, back in the 90s, I gave the seminar for free. Which wasn't, although the kids seemed to like it, you being the kids, as far as success was concerned, I wasn't very successful in getting you kids across the goal line. Although compared to all the other guys, I was extremely successful. Another thing that came up, didn't come up, but it was brought to my attention. There's more and more of mini-me's, you guys turning into mini-me's. Did you go to the castle seminar once or twice or 3 times, and you go out and you become a mini-me and you're giving people advice, and that's fine. For you to tell them that I mentored you, for you to tell them that you've been to the castle 1, 2, or 3 times, because it's the truth. But again, in no shape, manner, or form am I part of those other mini-me organizations, either economically, emotionally, psychologically, or any other kind of way. And if I find out anybody is tooting that horn, which would not be truthful, I will do something about it. So I hope you don't. Another thing that has been brought to my attention, and that in no way, shape, manner, or form does the Guthrie Group have anything to do with the former seminars or the Castle seminar. And for you to directly or indirectly lead anybody to believe that you learned your financial techniques, QLA techniques, vis-a-vis the Guthrie Group is bullshit, and that's a lie, and so don't do it. The Guthrie Group is a separate entity, and it has been winding down in recent years, and is now nowhere near as active as it used to be. I've taken on a couple of new projects, which we'll talk about in the weeks to come. I don't want to dilute them by talking about them on this podcast. I'm still pushing forward on the veteran podcast, and this week we are starting the assault, pun intended, on some senior military people to assist me with the veteran podcast, and hopefully they'll entertain the idea favorably. And I'm not interested in their money or anything like that. I just want their good name, and occasionally, from time to time, a little bit of their time. That's it for this. Stop you. Okay. God bless. Peace.